For decades, the state of Colorado has been a particularly welcoming place for asylum seekers. Even before President Trump took office, asylum seekers were having a harder time getting approved to come here and stay. Our Jaleesa Irizarry has some key context on the numbers.
The website may look like it stepped out of 1996, but its data is as fresh as it gets. The latest numbers from the Track Research Center at Syracuse University show the roller coaster of rates when it comes to asylum approval.
We do not hand out asylum like cookies by any stretch of the imagination.
Violetta Chapin is an immigration attorney. She says grant rates change every month and could be because of policies, where people apply from, and the current state of the world. The top 5 nationalities with the highest rate of asylum grants during the 2024 fiscal year are all from countries in some kind of conflict.
We require persecution. It's a particular standard. And so it's hard to get in the first place.
In November, Track announced asylum grant rates dropped by a third in the last few months of Biden's administration to 35%. But crunching Track's numbers provided by fiscal year showed during President Biden's term, the average asylum approval rate was 45%. During President Trump's first term, the grant rate was about 31%. Chapin isn't sure if that will change.
Yeah, I think it's hard to predict. Right? It really depends on what's happening in the world, right, which is outside of our control.
What the U.S. can control is how accessible they make the process. Trump's recent executive orders include a policy that requires asylum seekers arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border to stay in Mexico while their claims are processed. Another shut down an app that allowed them to schedule asylum appointments. Moves, Chapin believes, could restrict asylum approval.
We're at a moment where there's an extraordinary amount of public support for forcibly pushing out migrants from the United States.
It's important to point out lower rates of approval don't necessarily mean less people are coming in from those countries. For example, Afghanistan has an 88% grant rate and Colombia has a 16% approval rate, yet just 547 people were approved from Afghanistan and 1,100 were approved from Colombia.
Jaleesa, these processes can take so long. I mean, there could be somebody who applied for asylum during the first Trump administration, didn't get a hearing through Biden's years, and they're still waiting now.
And that's what makes it so complicated to pinpoint the exact reason as to why these approval rates go down, right? Chapin mentioned she has a client. It took 8 whole years to get the asylum approval. One has been waiting for 4.5 years, still doesn't have an interview.
Jaleesa Irizarry, thank you for that report.